This is the second part of the notes from section 8.6, which is on solving rational equations. In this, we are going to answer some story problems by setting up a rational equation and then solving it. So this first problem, which if you were in class we did together in groups, says that Jim and Bob, working on their own, can paint a fence in 54 minutes and 81 minutes respectively. So we have a fence. It takes Jim 54 minutes to paint it if he's painting it by himself. Bob, if he paints the entire fence by himself, it takes 81 minutes. We want to know if both of them are painting at the same time, how long does it take? A lot of students, their first initial reaction is to just average 54 and 81. The problem with that, that's going to give us a number in between 54 and 81. And if Jim can paint the whole thing in 54 minutes, it should take less time if he's painting and Bob's painting at the same time. So there's several different ways you could attack it. The one thing you could do is you could look at, if we just split the fence in half and Jim starts painting this side and Bob starts painting this side, they're probably painting the same color, but we'll go with blue and red, until they meet in the middle. Well, Jim's painting here while Bob's painting this side, and Jim gets to the middle in 27 minutes. Should take him half of those 54 minutes. So he should get to the middle in 27 minutes. It's going to take Bob a little longer because it takes him 81 minutes to do the entire fence, but he gets to the middle in 40.5 minutes. So if they each paint exactly half the fence, it's going to take them 27 minutes for Jim, and then he's going to sit and twiddle his thumbs, and Bob's going to get there in 40.5. Well, we don't want that to happen. We want, while Bob works for those first 27 minutes, and then Jim he doesn't stop at the halfway point. He keeps painting while Bob's painting here. So we know the answer has to be between 27 and 40.5. We could work with the fraction of a fence that Bob paints in those 27 minutes. In those 27 minutes, he's painted a third of the fence, and Jim's painted half the fence. So together, they've painted 5/6 of the fence. Then we could take a look at how that last sixth works. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to try to set up a rational equation that we can solve that's going to answer this question. And there's a couple different ways you could do it. The first, which is the way that we'll typically do it, at least in class together, is to look at what fraction of the fence they paint each minute. So if it takes Bob 54 minutes to do the entire fence, each minute he paints 1/54th of the fence. And we can do the same thing with Bob. If it takes him 81 minutes to complete the entire job, each minute he has done 1 out of 81 minutes of the job. Well, they're doing it at the same time. So because they're doing it at the same time, each minute we get that much of the fence done. And we want to say that that is equal to 1 out of how many minutes it takes them combined. So 1 over 54 plus 1 over 81 equals 1 over x. What we do is we take each individual time, 54 and 81, we put them under 1, we add them together, and then we take their combined time and put it on the other side. 54 and 81 and x, those are my common denominator. Or I'm sorry, those are my denominators. So the least common multiple between those things is going to be 162x. We can distribute this. 162x over 54 plus 162x over 81 equals 162x over x. We can cancel some things. 162 over 54 reduces to 3x. 162 over 81 reduces to 2x. These x's cancel and I get 162. And we get x is equal to 162 over 5, or, come on, 32.4 minutes. Notice that our answer is indeed between 27 minutes and 40 and a half minutes. It's not exactly in the middle, it shouldn't be, but it's close enough to the middle that it seems reasonable. 32.4 minutes is correct. Number 2 says Joey can paint a fence in 3 hours. It doesn't always deal with painting a fence, but it is completing a job of some sort. Phyllis can complete the same job, paint the same fence in 7 hours. Beatrice can do it in 4 hours. How long will it take the 3 of them if they do it together? Joey is 3 hours, so he does 1/3 of the fence each hour. Phyllis does 1/7 of the fence each hour. Beatrice does 1/4 of the fence each hour. And each hour, we are getting each of those things done. We want to know together what fraction of the fence do they complete each hour. 7, 3, and 4 have a least common multiple of 84, I believe. 7 and 3 is 21. Times 4 gives us 84. 84 definitely goes into them. There is no other common denominator, common multiple between them that's less than 84. So we want to multiply both sides by 84x. 84x over 3 plus 84x over 7 plus 84x over 4 is equal to 84x over x. 84 over 3 reduces to 28. 84 over 7 is 12. I forget my x here, sorry. 84 over 4 is 21. 84x over x is 84. So 28 and 12, that's 40. 61x is 84. So x is 84 over 61. Or 1.377, 1.38 hours. To answer the second question, what percent of the job will Joey complete, or what percent of the fence will Joey paint? If they are working together, is going to paint those 1.38 hours. That is a rounded number. We'll use the exact decimal when we type it into the calculator. So he worked for 1.38 hours out of the 3 hours it would have taken him to complete the entire job. So we want to do 1.38 over 3. If we wanted Phyllis's percent, we would do 1.38 over 7, 1.38 over 4 for Beatrice. So that decimal, there's our 1.38 over 3, which gives us 45.9%. Notice he was the fastest of the 3. It makes sense that he's doing over 1/3 of the job. Last one says Jeremiah and Isaac, if they work together, they are able to complete a job in 5 hours. If it takes Jeremiah 9 hours to complete the job on his own, how long will it take Isaac if he works on his own? So Jeremiah completes 1/9 of the job each hour. Isaac, if I call his time x, completes 1 over x parts of the job each hour. And together, they complete 1/5 of the job each hour. We're going to multiply both sides by 45x. That is the least common multiple between all the denominators. Distribute the 45x. Simplify. and solve for x. Subtracting 5x from both sides. Divide both sides by 4 gives me x equals 11.25 hours.